fight like a roaring fight, grit during dreams under stadium lights, sweat and fire, hearts ignite. Evening sports buffet, with the Ginch we play. Highlights, wild scores collide, it's the riot live tonight. Blades drawn, bold on the chalkboard slate, rivals clash.
Ladies and gentlemen, I wasn't going to do a show today. But then the MICAH PARSONS news broke, and I had to come on here. So how Cowboys fans feeling right now? How you feeling? I've said this before and I'll say it again, and it'll never end. I've said it since the 96-97 season. Jerry Jones has fisted Cowboy Nation. This will be the 30th year. 30th season. 30th. Some of the old-time Cowboy players and coaches rolling around in their graves. I've seen all kinds of stuff coming across the internet. Oh, it was a good deal. I'll take it. 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark. Kenny Clark has underperformed since coming into the NFL. And 2 first-round picks. I'll take it. No, you wouldn't. Because if the Packers, let's say, make the NFC Championship, 2 first-round picks the next 2 years, the Packers might make it all the way to the NFC Championship game those 2 years. You're picking what, 29th, 30th? I've seen all kinds of comments come across social media. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Fans, Cowboy Nation, stop going to the games. Stop spending your money, feeding the beast, to go to that monstrosity that I call the Millennium Falcon, which is AT&T Stadium. Stay at home. Watch the game on television and save yourself a shitload of money, because it will never change as long as he is the general manager. Been saying it for 30 years. Well, he was the GM when they won the Super Bowls. He signed off on everything. Jimmy Johnson is the one that put those teams together. Jimmy Johnson wanted a certain kind of player. All Jerry did was write the checks. That was it. Until Jerry Jones sells the team, which he won't, because Steven and the family will take it over after Jerry's gone. Cowboys aren't winning a Super Bowl. They haven't even sniffed the NFC Championship game. Go back to 2007-2008 season. Cowboys were 13-3. Most wins ever in a season by a Cowboys team. First round of the playoffs, they got to bye the first week. Giants caught fire, and the Cowboys laid an egg. Now, people will say, is that Jerry's fault? No. But that's just part of the problem. As long as he is there, they aren't doing jack shit. Green Bay got a whole lot better. And I've seen things, $47 million a year. That's ridiculous. That's asinine. That's insane. You're always going to have owners that are willing to pay the money. There's a general manager and an owner that's willing to pay Shohei Ohtani in baseball all that friggin' money. There's always going to be a general manager and an owner, if they can do it in the NFL, that will pay that kind of money. So, Cowboys fans, if you want to think that you got a fantastic deal, that you would take that, no, you wouldn't. If you want to try and put a spin on it, that's entirely up to you. Jerry got hosed. And now it makes you want to think that was there actually an agreement in place that Jerry and MICAH shook on? And then the agent got involved. Jake and Christner, here's the thing. You're sort of right on what you say. They won't win because I've been saying it for a while. But there's another reason. Jerry is the reason for not winning. Jerry, period, is the reason that they're not winning. Period. Period. If you can drive Bill Parcells off after 3 years, and it wasn't like Bill Parcells did a bad job. But like I said all those years ago, Jerry Jones couldn't stand the fact that Jimmy Johnson got all the credit for those Cowboys Super Bowl teams. And even when they brought in the Barry Switzer, the players were still Jerry's. And they probably shouldn't have lost in 94-95 when they played the 49ers in the NFC Championship game, but they were still Jerry's players. And people were still giving Jimmy Johnson the credit, even when they won the 95-96 Super Bowl, because they were still Jimmy's players that were there. I don't know what to say to Cowboys fans anymore. People always ask me why I jumped ship. I jumped ship the year they signed Greg Hardy, knowing what Greg Hardy did to his girlfriend. And Jerry Jones still signed off on it. And then came out and said he didn't know. Yeah, you did. You're just not going to say you knew. Again, Green Bay got a whole lot better. Dallas did not. I still think the Giants are the worst team in the division. But Dallas isn't too far behind. When Brian Schottenheimer signed on to be the Dallas Cowboys head coach, it probably didn't factor into the equation that this was going to happen. Jacob, Jerry bought the team when he was a Wildcatter, had that mindset hired Jimmy, that mindset fire Landry on a golf course and hire Jimmy. He doesn't have that mindset anymore. He's thinking of money. Partially. Again, he couldn't stand the fact, Jacob, way back when, that Jimmy got all the credit. And when he fired Jimmy, he wasn't going to let that ever happen again. That's why he hired Barry. Barry was a puppet, even though the Cowboys won the Super Bowl in 95-96. Again, still Jimmy's holdovers. Jimmy Johnson. They were still all Jimmy's players, most of them. And even when people were giving praise to Jerry Jones that year, they still had to hear it about Jimmy's players. Dallas isn't making the playoffs this year. Brian Schottenheimer did not expect this. He had a defense last year that was lackluster anyway. What's Kenny Clark going to do? Kenny Clark's not Micah Parsons. Now, offensively, you're really going to have to outscore people. And if people want to say, oh, well, he wasn't worth $47 million a year, nobody is worth that kind of money. Nobody is worth that kind of money. Now, TJ Watt, sorry. Yeah, now TJ Watt sitting back saying, what about my deal now? Trey Hendrickson's probably now thinking, holy shit, he got 47, I got this. It's mind-boggling. I don't know what to tell you. Jacob says, Mr. Christner, you know what Jerry's trying? He's trying for Arch with those 2 first rounds. He's not going to go after Arch. Saints are going to suck worse. There's still a couple of teams in the NFL that are going to suck worse. Saints are one of them. Giants are going to be worse. Although some people think that the Giants aren't going to be too bad. Raiders are going to suck. I still don't think Tennessee's going to be that great. Then why sign Dak to a $60 million deal if you want to go after Arch Manning? He paid Dak money, Dak got hurt. He paid CeeDee Lamb the money, CeeDee got hurt. He wasn't going to pay Micah Parsons the money. If he pays Micah Parsons the money and in the third game of the year he gets hurt, then Jerry's going to feel like an idiot again. So Jerry wasn't going to do it. He wasn't going to sign him to a long-term deal. He did it with Dak. He did it with CeeDee. They both got hurt. And Micah can say whatever he wants to. Oh, I didn't want it to end this way, and I wanted to be here. And everybody thought the back and forth were negotiating tactics. So I want to be here. Wanted to be, just a couple of weeks ago, he said, I don't want to be here anymore. So what do you want to believe? I don't know what to believe. It's he said, he said. Cowboy fans, I feel for you. I really do. I was a former Cowboy fan myself. All I wanted to do today is watch my college football. But then the story broke. And August 1st, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to you. Vegas set the odds on August 1st. It was 3,000 to 1 that Micah Parsons would get traded. If you laid $5 down on that bet, congratulations to you. You're $15,000 richer. If you put $100 on it, congratulations to you. You don't need to play the lottery, or you can sink all that money into the Powerball. I don't know what you're going to do. But again, Micah Parsons is no longer a Dallas Cowboy. Let me pull up. I'm just looking to see if any other details have come out. Deal was worth 4 years, $188 million. Reports are that the fully guaranteed amount is between $120 million and $130 million in total guarantees, making him the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. Parsons has since released a statement on social media saying, quote unquote, I never wanted this chapter to end, but not everything was in my control. My heart has always been there or been here, and it still is. Through it all, I never made any demands. I never asked for anything more than fairness. I only asked that the person I trust to negotiate my contract be part of the process. Make it sound good. Again, the Cowboys get 2 first-round picks. And, of course, Kenny Clark. Which, again, good luck with that. Again, I don't know what to tell you, Cowboys Nation. I've said this for years now. Boycott. Stop going to the games. Save your money. Watch the games at home. Saving yourself a lot of cash. Why watch the same shit over and over and over again? You're going to drive yourself insane. Or show up to the games, tailgate out in the parking lot, and have 90,000 fans just sit out in the parking lot. You either listen to it on the radio, or I'm sure somebody will be there with generators and they hook up their TV. Watch it out in the parking lot. I don't even know what to say anymore, to be quite honest with you. Again, until that man is gone from the equation, I can't do it. And people always say to me, well, you can root for the team. If you hate the owner, you can root for the team. No, I can't. Not with an owner like that. No. No, 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 no. I knew Pittsburgh Steelers fans when they signed Michael Vick refused to root for the Steelers until Vick was gone. And they did. They just stayed neutral the whole NFL season. Now, what he did was a lot worse. I get it, but Cowboys fans across the globe just basically have to ask themselves, what has this man done to improve our football team over the last 30 years to get us over the hump? It'd be different if this kind of shit was happening like maybe every 5-6 years that he does shit like this. But that's not the case. That's not the case. So if people want to think that he's bagging for Arch Manning, if people want to think that it was a good deal, if people want to think, well, I'm still going to root for the team, I'm still going to go to the games, you're part of the problem. He has everybody brainwashed. Great businessman. Sucks as a general manager. You know what Robert Kraft for the Patriots has done as an owner? He just sits back and writes the checks. Lets football people do football people things. He let Bill Belichick bring in his own players. The Pittsburgh Steelers organization, what do you think they do? They sit back and they write checks. And they let the football personnel do the football personnel shit. Jerry will never do that. Jerry could be on his deathbed before the season starts, and he'll still call the shots. That's just who he is. He's not going to change. He hasn't changed with the times. He's not going to do it, and he never will. Period. And I'll say it for the final time. After Jimmy Johnson took credit for the Super Bowls and putting that team together and putting the player personnel together that he wanted, Jerry signed off on it. Jerry couldn't stand it that Jimmy got the credit. Even when Barry Switzer was the coach and the Cowboys won the Super Bowl, Jimmy still got all the credit because they were still Jimmy's players. Jerry Jones told him from that day forward, it was never going to happen again under his watch. And he has stuck to that mantra. And it'll never change. Period. So I'm going to end it there. I'm going to go back to watching my college football. Again, Cowboys fans, send me your comments. Send me your questions. Again, I feel for you. It sucks. It's going to be a long year for you guys. It really is. If you thought last year was bad, just wait till this year. I don't want to hear about Dak and CD and X, Y, and Z. The defense is now lesser without Micah Parsons being there. I hope Kenny Clark works out for the defense, but he has underperformed since he's been in the NFL. What is the Cowboys' psyche going to be next Thursday when they have to travel to the Link to take on the Eagles and raising the Super Bowl banner? My gut feeling is, Mr. Schottenheimer, if you thought it was bad this week, wait till you step into the Link next Thursday. I hope for Cowboys fans I'm wrong, but this has all the makings of an ass kicking. So, with all that being said, I hope everybody has a great rest of their weekend. There's only one thing left for me to do, and that is for Dandy Don to take me out.
Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.